everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tiana, and today we are diving into all things baby essentials and regrets. Now, let me tell you, I am the ultimate influenceable person. I was influenced to buy all of the baby things. So I've tried them all. So let me give you my feedback for what's really worth it and what you should skip out on. Now, my daughter Zola is almost 1 year old. She's 11 months old today. So we've got a good range of items that I loved in the beginning, don't use anymore, some things that are starting to use now that I love. So it's a little bit a mix of everything in the first year that are the essentials. We're gonna start off with some popular items that I regret buying, that I thought were not worth the hype. And now I just want to reiterate that these are all personal preferences and things my baby maybe didn't like that your baby would love. So no judgment to anyone who swears by them. This is just my experience with items. First up is the Baby Bjorn Bouncer. I know this one is controversial because every influencer and their mother loves this thing. But to be honest, for the price, it's not that great. It's nice, your baby sits in it, but I think compared to any other bouncer, it doesn't do anything all that great. My baby couldn't figure out the bouncing herself until she was big enough to crawl out of it herself. So at no point was she able to bounce the thing herself. So she, barely used it, because if you use it, then I had to be bouncing her. So I just let her crawl around on the floor or just sit on the floor, because if it was a time where I needed her to be sitting and doing stuff by her own, she was more entertained laying on her back on her play mat than she was just sitting in the bouncer doing nothing, because it wasn't bouncing on its own. I would recommend buying a bouncer that bounces itself or sways itself or something. And honestly, I think they're even cheaper than the Baby Bjorn bouncer. So if you want that design, I would just get a cheaper one because it doesn't do anything special. The next up is the Haka, the breast milk catcher. I personally didn't have a big letdown, so I didn't really need it. I think I bought a lot of items expecting to need them, thinking that you needed them because every influencer had them, but just because other people need it doesn't mean you'll need it. So that's one thing I'll keep coming back to, is I wouldn't buy things until you realize that you need it, because you end up with a lot of stuff that you potentially don't need. Even I bought 3 boxes of breast pads, or milk pads, because I was afraid I didn't want to be leaking everywhere. But to be honest, I never used them. I opened 1 box and probably used 5 of them for just in case when I went out. So that was just stuff that's still sitting upstairs that will never be used. Next up is the electric nose sucker. Now, I think that this, in theory, is great, but ours doesn't really work all that great. It doesn't, suck her boogers out, and my daughter hates it. She really hates anything up her nose. I have little booger pickers, stuff like that, but she does not like anything in her nose. So that thing especially, she will bawl her eyes out. So I just found the manual sucker does just as much, or even more than the electric sucker that we have. So maybe a pass on that one. Next is the Nuna Carry Next. I think in theory this product is wonderful. My baby personally just did not like to be not carried. She did not like the car at all the first 6 months of her life. And even with her laying flat, I'm sure that probably helped a little bit more than the other one, but the thing is really bulky, so if you have a smaller car, it's going to take up the whole back seat. And when they say oh, you can maneuver them from in the car to onto the stroller, no, you can't. That thing is not easy to get in and out of a car, so you're going to wake the baby if there's, because it's a jolt. You got to kind of yank it out to get it out of the base. So I don't think that concept is worthy of buying it for. It is convenient that you can have the lay flat, and I think it is better for their back if you are spending a lot of time in the car, maybe for long road trips in the beginning of their life. It's much nicer for them and their spine development, but practicality for our life, for her first little bit alive, it wasn't a necessary purchase. Next is the We2 changing mat. Now, I think right now they're on sale, so they're not as expensive, but I think when we bought it, it was like 75 euros for a changing mat. And while it is beautiful and it matches her room beautifully, there's nothing special about it. It just, to be honest, it's colder to the touch than ones with a cover on them. And I prefer the ones with, like the cheap ones with the cover on them, because they have a higher sides. So once baby starts rolling, they can't just roll right off. They just kind of have to go up the side. These ones, it's more flat, so they can roll off very easily. And finally, my biggest regret is buying the whole first year of clothes before the baby was born, because I bought things seasonally based off of the time that she was born in sizes. And in reality, like, babies don't wear the exact same sizes based off of how many months old they are. I personally have a very small baby, so she could not fit into any of her summer clothes until about now. And now it's starting to get cold, so she cannot wear them. So I had to rebuy everything. I think it's better to just buy as you go. Buy the newborn stuff because you know when they're going to be born. But that's really about it. Maybe newborn 0 to 3 months I would buy. If your baby is measuring super big, then maybe buy 3 to 6 months. But yeah, I wouldn't buy further than that. And to be honest, it was sad for me the whole first year, because like I had all of her clothes. So I was like, well, now I can't go shopping with her. Like, what am I gonna do the next year? I can't go buy any new clothes because I already have it all. Now, in reality, it ended up being nice because I did need to buy more clothes to fit the sizes that she actually wore. But yeah, I would not buy everything in advance. Now, on to the good stuff. This is all of the things that I absolutely swear by. I love all of these products, and I would recommend you buy them. First up is the Nuna car seat. I think this thing is worth the hype. Obviously, we've been through a few car seats. We've had the Carry next, we have the Nuna toddler, and we have the Nuna. The Nuna we didn't actually buy until she was 6 months old, because we were going on vacation and wanted the option of having a car seat and stroller all in one. And so we weren't thinking we were going to be using it for everyday life, but we absolutely love that thing. It's so convenient. It's easy to get in and out of the car. It's easy to fold out the wheels. It's actually practical. Like, if she's sleeping, that she can stay in the stroller and won't wake up. It's wonderful. It's lightweight. It's 10 out of 10. Should get it. Next is the electric nail file. I think we have the one by Haka. I would 1000% recommend this. It does take a little bit longer, I think, to file or clip their nails, but it is so worth it. You don't have to worry about cutting them. You can get much lower, like shorter than you would with the clippers. And yeah, it's great. My daughter has never been bothered by it. Now that she's a little bit older, she's a little more squirmy and like doesn't want to give me her hand for long enough for me to actually do them. But it's super nice and convenient. Next is the Love to Dream Sleep Sack. I love that thing. We used it until the day we were not allowed to anymore, until she was rolling. I tried to transition her out of it for the longest time, for like 2 months, but she just did not sleep without the thing. She was so cozy in it. She absolutely loved it. I tried a bunch of other swaddles that were arms down, and she busted out of all of them. I don't know why babies, like other people love them and their baby just didn't bust out of them, but my daughter, her arms were out within 5 minutes of having the thing on, no matter how tight I swaddled her in there. I had the Velcro ones, I had the regular swaddle that you tie around. She found her way out of it. So the one that zipped and had her arms up, she loved. And she also still likes to chew on her fingers, so she would kind of chew on her hands. So I think that that's why she also likes that one. So again, I guess it's more of a preference thing for your baby, but my daughter loved them. The Uby, I think is the name, Uby Diaper Pail is worth it. You know, stinky diapers, they get stinky. In the beginning, they're not that stinky, but once they start eating food, they are stinky. And having them in a contained thing, that trash can holds the smell better than any other thing I could imagine. But I will say the inside of the trash can does kind of hold the smell. We use a powder that's supposed to like absorb the smells, but when you open the thing, it smells like poop. But the second you close it, that smell is gone. Her room never stinks. The inside of it stinks, but it keeps the stink in. So I think it's worth it. Also, the Uby Wipe Dispenser. The wipe warmer we never got, so I can't say. But I do think that the wipe dispenser is worth it because pulling out wipes one-handed while you're still trying to like hold on to baby is so much easier when you have a wipe dispenser that has like a weighted plate on it, so you don't like pull up the whole sack of wet wipes. Definitely convenient, definitely think it's worth it. Next is a good baby wrap. I personally don't have any preference. I just bought, I think like a cheap one off Amazon that just wrapped just one of the wrap ones. And my daughter absolutely loved it. She could be in it all the time. It's super comfortable when they're little and they're so close to you and they're just like so snuggled up in there. I think I wore it almost every single day. Again, my daughter did not like the stroller, so anywhere we went, I had to carry her. So yeah, that I think is worth it. I don't have a preference, on brand. I think all of them are probably pretty much the same. I think the only difference will be like the amount of elasticity in them, but I think they will all probably do the same job. Along with carriers, so we actually have a few different carriers. We have the Tula Versatile carrier. I don't remember the name. I think I'll put it on the screen here. But that one is great because you can do it front, back, and her facing out, so it's very versatile. It's a little more bulky, so it's not like more of an everyday use one, but we also have their like travel one, and I love that thing. Now that she's bigger, I don't use the wrap. I use that one the most because it has a nice little pocket. Let me go grab it. So here it is. I actually just used it today, so it's not like all put back together the way it's supposed to be. So this is what it looks like. It has a nice like zipper compartment here that you can fit a lot in. Like I fit like diapers, wipes. There's like a bunch of room here. I just have diapers in here right now. But diapers, wipes, chapsticks, whatever, keys, phone, all the things can fit in there. But when you're not using it, it's just like it's a little bag because the whole carrier actually fits inside of this little pocket here. And it just zips up into there. And then it's just like, it's a little fanny pack that you can wear, throw over the stroller. Then it's compact and it still has, like, it still can fit all your wipes and everything. And it's great for like just bopping around, only wearing carrier sometimes while out and about. I think this one is a must. The next thing is the Love Every Play Gym. This is definitely a more pricey play gym, and we don't have any of the other ones, so I can't really compare it to the other ones, but my daughter loved this thing. She could literally sit in it for, like, if I let her entire wake window, she would just sit and play in it. I think it's nice because when they get a little bit older and can start sitting up, she can still sit up and play in it. Now she still plays in it sometimes, but now that she's crawling, she doesn't really stick in one place so much. She does like to still play with the bell and play with the ball. Every once in a while, I still have it out for her. But yeah, I think it's worth it. And I really love the information cards that they give you. I always went back to it and was reading, like, what are they doing in this stage of life? It tells you, like, month by month what they should be learning, how to play with the toy with them to make them develop a little bit faster, or not faster, but to help them develop. And so I thought that was really nice part of the toy, that you can like actually know what things that they should be using at what times. Like they would tell you which cards to be putting out and how to, like, which area of the play gym to play with. And so that was really nice, and I felt like it was actually helping her develop along the way. I know I said that we love the Duna, but we still do use our Nuna Toddle most of the time when we're out and about. That's like our everyday car seat in the car. It just feels much more sturdy and safe, and it's versatile. We can use it up until she's out of a car seat. It's just really nice to be able to use all the time, and it's comfortable for her. It has a few different like incline settings. So yeah, I think that it is a great car seat. It is a little bit pricey, so if it's not in your budget, I'm sure a cheaper brand is just as good. But I think it's nice having like the convertible one and the rotating one. I really think that is nice because it's nice to rotate her, put her in, and then rotate her out because she does not like the car seat or getting in the car. So getting her in is a lot easier when it's able to rotate. And lastly is the Wambu baby carrying shirt for both mom and dad. I swore by these things in the beginning. Again, like I've said, I had to carry her around all the time. And if I wasn't wearing the sling, because that thing sometimes is a pain to tie on, I would just throw on that shirt. And it was nice because it was really, the women's one has a deep V cut, so it was easy to breastfeed while she's in the shirt. And you don't have to worry about like her falling or getting too low because like the shirt, it only goes to a certain length. And it's also, the men's one was perfect because my husband would never tie the tie wrap on him, but he would throw the shirt on and he just like got to feel close to her and actually enjoyed carrying her. And he said that it was quite comfortable. So that is nice. The life on them is quite short. You can only wear them until they're, not super big, but we did like them for the time being. So yes, definitely would recommend those. Next is the baby peanut, is what you guys have in America. Here in the Netherlands, it's the Cocoon. They're obviously not the exact same, but it's a similar concept. I really thought this thing was worth it in the beginning. We used it all the time, and I think with other kids, if you have other kids, it's nice to have that because it gives the other kids just a little bit of separation from the baby, so they can give them just a little bit of space rather than being on top of them. So it kind of like gives them their own little safe area. And although you're not supposed to let them sleep in them, so you can't use it for that, I think that they are nice just to be able to plop them down and not have to worry about them rolling off the couch or anything like that. I also like to use it for tummy time because it gave her a little bit of support in the beginning so that it was a little bit more comfortable for her. So I put like a blanket down and had the edge of it, and so she was a little bit more inclined, so it kind of helped her with tummy time. She liked that more than just regular tummy time. Of course, we did regular tummy time, but this just helped her a little bit feel more comfortable. Next is Maxi Cozy Bedside Bassinet that has the lowering side. I think that is so important. I don't think the actual brand really mattered, but I think if you're going to do a bedside bassinet, you have to get one that has a lowering side that comes like down to bedside level, because in the middle of the night, like lifting her up and over her bassinet while you're sitting in bed is not really practical. At least for me, I would have had to get out of bed and like lift her and put her into the bassinet. But since we had one that had the lower side, I was able to just kind of push her in and lay her down lightly. So recommend a bedside bassinet that lowers on one side, that comes even flush to your bed. Now, I think that is it for all of my baby products. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any tips for mamas out there, make sure to leave it in the comments below so that you can tell me what you think is worth it, what you think is not worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos like this. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!